Holy smoly, that is not what I expected. And I'm just like, this is how you make one assembler. It's clean, it's nice, it's beautiful. We've got to get on, we've got so much time and so little to do. Welcome back to the Factory Automation Nation here in the space age. We are now up to our baseline robotic technologies here. We're actually got a couple researchers going to try to increase their speed. As I actually didn't realize they're very slow at the beginning, but it's very easy to get them back up to speed where you can actually use them on the go in the way that you would and leave them behind a little bit less. But yeah, we've got the grassroots here, the very basic bare bones of the construction to get these bots in action, and we're going to try to leverage that and expand on that overall today. So what are we going to be doing? Well, first things first, I want to be making sure that we have plenty of power to be able to scale things up a little bit. And since we're running purely on coal right now, I think it's about time we actually started automating some solar panels and solar power. So that's going to require batteries, going to require those electronic circuits, and so on. So we'll look into that. There's a number of things on the docket, but that's going to be my starting point, and then we can kind of get into a wider array of things. So right now, what we're looking at, we have iron kind of clogged up here, and I've got to find a better solution for what we're doing. Like, yeah, this is cool that we were able to get it on the correct side of the belt in this compressed space, but we really need to get the iron flowing the other direction. So I think we're going to have to push past this and then find a better way to make that work so that it doesn't actually clog up anything. And so right off the bat, we're in needing to do something like this. And yeah, just do this, and that'll do it. And that way we have the space that we need to actually continue to push forward in this kind of micro bus. This is not a clean bus. This is not, pure lines, and we're not really calculating rates right now of what's incoming and what's outgoing. But, this is effectively the mall, an extended wing of the mall perhaps, but still a mall nevertheless. So we're not really needing to, min-max every aspect of this, but we will need to factor that in a little bit more as we get just more activity. I'm considering just breaking this line as a whole. Like right now we're not really using, I don't think we actually need this filter here. We could just continue it on. I guess it would clog up this over here if we wanted that. So until we get the filtered inserters, technically that's an issue, but I don't actually expect to have too many problems here. Maybe we can turn it. I don't actually know what priority they take in a vertical sense there, but main thing is I just want this line to move forward. I want to be able to utilize some electronic circuits and have that as part of this little kind of microbus we're making. So we'll do that. And then what else do we need? We need copper. And yeah, if we're making the solar panels first, we need steel. We've got iron. We just need copper plates, or in this case, electronic circuits made raw. And then the accumulator will require the batteries, which we already have made, and the iron plates. So let's go ahead and take a look at the batteries. We'll probably, you see, we don't even have the line full right now, so we probably will need to expand on that a little bit. And I think it requires copper and iron plates as well, but let me double check. Yeah, so copper plates, iron plates need to be coming in. We were pulling off of this line here, and we will continue to do so. Do we have enough space for this? Can we do something else with this quality modules to not have to worry about them right here? I'm not looking to really mass these right now, though it is going to be something I consider more in the future. So I think that I'd rather just use this space to get the batteries flowing. And, we'll still, of course, do something like this and put a box down for them here. So all that will just net us a little bit more space for the batteries here. And then once again, we can pull from the line here. Then we just need to maybe clean it up like this. There is our night vision coming into play. Before it was just we were running on Lite. We were just needing as much sunlight or flashlight as we can. But now we've got our modular armor up and running. I believe we could upgrade this pretty soon to the power armor as well. But for right now, our current setup is 3 personal roboports and the night vision. And not a lot of power generation, so I think that we're going to be running low on battery at points, but that's only when I'm really using the bots at their full capacity. Right now I have 30 bots available, so that's cool. Anyways, we got batteries cooking now. Hopefully this flow is good. It looks like we might need more. See, this is also getting slowed down, so it's just a limitation of the inserter speed. So hopefully that will keep these cooking and make sure that we have enough sulfuric acid to work with. I, again, have not rated this, but you can just take it at a glance. It creates 50 per second. These consume 5. So this doesn't seem too bad. I think we have plenty of sulfuric acid to go around, which is great. And might be a great opportunity for us to consider jumping into the setup with the, if we just kind of scalp some of this stuff. I don't think scalp is the right word, but whatever. We could actually start making some processing units. It just requires the acid and a little bit of that circuit action. So we could bring it over here, let's say, and then bring it back up and make a little one-off. I just want to make sure it's out of the way. But yeah, we'll make a nice little assembling machine, making these processing units, turn the liquid around, and then yeah, we'll just do a simple block setup for it requires a lot more greens than reds, is that right? Yeah, way more greens, so we don't actually need that much. We'll just dump all the greens that we have, and then yeah, power it up, and it'll make some processing units for us. That will help if we are going to be making a few of the higher tech things in a short-term span. I guess I could bulk insert. How long is the crafting time of these? 10 seconds. That's a lot of inputs there, man. So I'm going to go ahead and help you out here, and hopefully that will get us what we need. Anywho, quality, is that a thing? No, quality is not really going to help us out here. Better processing units isn't, we just don't have the setup to make like all of these things higher quality consistently. So I got my head wrapped around it a little bit better. It's basically a percentage chance to accumulate increased value, and you can do it from the point you mine it from, or any of the intermediary steps of crafting. So we'll definitely look into that a bit more. It's just something that I had a hard time understanding when I first looked at it, but you know, I think it is meant to be kind of complicated when it comes to the logistics of it, so we'll see. So we have that. We're making a little bit of the solar panel and accumulator action. We're trying to pull batteries out from that position. So instead of boxing it, what I'm going to be doing instead is making it so that this flows outward, and we can just go ahead and bring it down. There's only a few specific things that are going to need the batteries. I believe the laser turrets are something we're going to try to be making pretty soon, as well as the accumulators I've mentioned a few times now. So just iron plates combined with that will be our first step towards accumulation and towards a renewable form of energy. So we'll go ahead and split off right here and send up some iron. Ideally, we then, yeah, have it on one side. I guess it doesn't matter too much. We're just going to be crafting, let's see, 10-second crafting time. I'd rather have a few machines running this if I can, so we'll just do a red inserter to keep it simple and keep things moving. Is that enough space? It should be, but maybe I'm slightly off. Yep, slightly off. Unfortunate. Why am I picking this all up? The bots can do it, right? They'll just hand it to my inventory. The ones from the Robo Bay are trying to, but they don't have anywhere to store things right now. So we'll go ahead and drop a storage chest for them right here and keep things moving. So Let's do this here, here. And accumulators. And then they can red inserter it over to here's the idea, but power pole has to be adjusted to compensate for that. And the real question is, how many do we want to be made? 3 at a time sounds fine. I don't want to get too greedy. The battery count isn't really going to even work with that supply right now until we increase our battery counts dramatically. I don't see that really happening. So actually, they're not running at all right now. So what's their deal? They need more copper plates. Copper plates were flowing from here when we were making circuits, I believe. Copper plates running through here. Oh yeah, okay, it was coming off of this belt here. So overall, our copper plate supply is a little lackluster. Obviously, we just don't have like the full operation running right now. And it seems like we're eating into it a lot as it goes into like making these red circuits in particular. So that'll something that'll kind of have to naturally balance itself out. But for right now, yeah, I'm not gonna, until I get the next copper node online, I'm just gonna have to keep it at a pretty reduced value here and go from there. So just to kind of sum up a few of the things that I'm going to be working on today. Yeah, we're looking at solar panels, we're looking at accumulators, we're looking at laser turrets. This allows us to really stretch out, even when if we're like in outer space or something like that, we can still have our robots continuously building off of what we create here. And that's going to be a great value long term. So put that in an active provider chest. And soon we'll be able to kind of create this nice little clean energy grid. Battery is going to be the main limitation that we have to kind of work around here. I do have some copper on me, so I'm just going to go ahead and take a little jump start there, and hopefully that will help. I think that's 100, like they're one plate each, right? So that's like 400 batteries. That'll definitely help. All right, so the next item on that list is the electronic circuits, the steel, and the iron. And that's going to be everything shown here. So yeah, basically, as you see on the build map, it's just going to be the iron plates go into steel and electronic circuits. The copper wire, which comes from copper plates, will also go right in. And then I believe solar panels also just require a copper plate. That's why it's kind of laid out a little differently. But no big deal. We are here. We are rocking. I guess I want to leave some spot for the copper plates, assuming that we actually get them working. Unless we want to pipe it in from the other side and not really worry about this old source. Well, we need them for this, so I guess we will do what we can there. So, at least for right now, that's going to be what we're looking at. This as well. Now, we already have an underground belt set up here, which makes things a bit more awkward. So, basically just trying to escape from what was a bit of spaghetti as we kind of just wanted to get things started at the earliest convenience. This will be copper. This will be iron, steel, and chips. Batteries do not need to go too far because we're not going to be doing the laser turrets for a little while. We need to get military science on that first, but go ahead and take down the build chart and just take a look at what we want to be making. Copper plates, steel plates, electronic circuits. If this is copper plates, then what you can do, there's a few ways to approach this. With 1, 2, 3, 4, I did have some blueprints that I liked to use in my previous playthrough in Industrial Revolution. For the most part, all my blueprints are going to be made fresh, but I did want to show these. They're kind of interesting. I labeled them like 1, 2, 3, 4, I think from top to bottom. So let's say it's a 1, 2 escape. And we do this. Obviously, we don't have blue belts yet, but what you can do is you can basically just say, okay, with these 4 on the buffer, if we want to not disturb the belt flow, but also extract through splitters from the first belt from the top and the second belt from the top, this is how you can do that. And it'll put it onto the same belt here. So it's kind of a nice little thing. Obviously, we would need to convert this to red. I don't think the upgrade planner can do that, but I'm curious. This tells it to upgrade it to green. I'm curious if you could actually put an upgrade planner in. Let's just use this one, for example. So if we remove these guys, let's just remove the whole thing. If we put this back in our inventory, it's obviously it's a downgrade, but maybe you could still do it. So like blue to red from... I was curious why there were columns and rows, but it probably doesn't matter too much. Blue splitters to red splitters. And from blue underground belts to red underground belts. I'm just curious if that will work. If we then do this. That's the wrong one. Where's the one I just made? This one here. Cool. All right. Very nice. So anyways, this will take the copper plate and the steel, put it on the same line, and then you can, have your solar panels pulled from that. So in this case, you would need a little bit of space here. And then obviously they need to also export their contents. So it'd be like this, right? The only problem is you need electronic circuits. We can fix that pretty easily. We just need to... I think it's going to be better if we move everything up a space. The quantity is going to be 10. It's 15. Okay, that's not too bad. Oh, it's just putting in double value. Okay. So what we're going to do is we'll move everything up a notch. And put in an active or passive provider chest. What is it? Yeah, passive provider chest. We'll go ahead and then put some red belts here. Or I said red belts, red inserters. And then just run this line right here as you would normally do. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do double splitter with this, then filtering for green circuits. On the bottom side, I believe. I need to do this a little bit earlier on, so I'll just do the same thing, but over here. There we go. And if we could just break this up for a second here. There we go. A little awkward. Obviously, we don't have the copper as well, so that could be a bit further inconvenienced, but we'll make it work for now. Just trying to make sure we have a decent amount of power without generating a massive amount of pollution. As far as techs go, we are going to need that rocket fuel. We can upgrade these bulk inserters a little bit further. Then speed module will unlock a lot of stuff. More lab research is never a bad thing, and of course we want to get into rockets. Not today, unfortunately. I don't think it's in the cards, but I definitely think it's going to be something that we can get into within the next 2 days of play. So here we are. These are doing their thing. That's awesome. Glad to see it. These guys are going to be grabbing their green chips here. Now, did this get clogged as a filter, or are we just not making anything? We're not just not making chips right now. We're not really using that much blue science, but I guess it's just enough. And this is all rated currently for, actively using the blue science. So It'll be some overflow that will, basically when we have extra, it's going to be making it. And then we just honestly just need to get a good, big, raw green and red chip factory going over time. But that's the problem is you need power in order to get a big factory, and it's just a catch-22. Alrighty, that was kind of my preliminary stuff. There are going to be a few other big items that I want to get into, but first and foremost, we just need to really get the raw material sorted out. So what I'm going to be doing is going ahead and setting up some mining operations. I might end up having to like craft out some steam engines and boilers again. I think it's probably best I just get those ready because I do believe that's going to be necessary, but we'll see. And then of course we have our little copper node right here. It's not too big. It's about 1 million. You know, it's still going to be kind of in this starter zone, but it's still going to be very helpful for us to get into. And I think the location's great for just continuing to build things this direction. So not that I'm trying to sell you guys on it, but we definitely are going to want to tap into it since it's convenient. It's right there. You don't even have to travel far for it. Yeah, we'll just do this. Nope, off by 1. The robots got it covered though. And then, yeah. Just do the same thing here. 2 over and perfect. Alrighty, and then I'll just for thoroughness, we'll also include that. So I think that's all good. Do I want a quality module of these and slide that off? Based on my understanding of quality, I just don't really think I'm going to be able to tap into it all that well for a while. So I'm actually not too worried about getting these turned in, like, say, the whole stocking up quality ore, I don't think is going to be like a big part of our operation plan for a while. It's like it works well with the uranium mining because of how Covrex works, but for right now, I feel like I have to get a whole setup and then some to really start utilizing that in a big way. Now we can build substations. Is that something that I really want to tap into? I have the resources and it does not take long. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get into that. Let's go ahead and give itself a spot on our hotbar. And yeah, we really do love to see how much it stretches out the power line here. This is very nice. And here's fine. So all we gotta do here is this, and it does not meet, but that's fine. All right, so these guys are all operating now. What we're gonna be doing is then bringing the lines together. Making sure we have just a really good solid red line. And because I want to build down to the south, I'm gonna make sure we have space up here. No biters too close by, but I should definitely pop down a radar and get a better read on things in this general area. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And I would not be surprised to see some activity, so I'm gonna go ahead and load these guys up. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is copying our smelting setup from here, minus the steel part. We don't really need that part, but we need everything else. This is going to be 48 smelters, electric, and I do believe I have some on hand. If I don't, I need to remedy that. See, 26, not the full amount, but pointing us in the right direction, right? What are we lacking? Just out of curiosity, stone brick. We'll have to route that because we do not currently have it nearby. But basically, we can kind of clear this area and start fully utilizing this. This is where, again, the electric costs are going to spike, and I'm probably just going to need to tap into some more coal, but that's okay. Just making sure we're on the right track here. I'll definitely want to just give it a little bit of space to breathe. And then there the bots go. Look how I just love how easy it is to just like blueprint something, copy paste, bam, everything's made, everything's rocking and rolling. A few of the entities will like take a little while longer, but like overall this is great. And I kind of feel like we do want the copper plates to move out, but we just double check. At the end of the day, we're going to need to combine them together first. So let's do that. And then, yeah, over here as well. Now, obviously, I do not have a lot of blue inserters, so I'm going to, or the yellow ones anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and redo that upgrade plan. We're never using this again, right? So we can go ahead and just, I'm wondering, is there an easy way to get rid of these? There we go. Just hold the control key. All right. But yeah, we just want the yellow to blue inserter split back. And that's definitely under logistics. There we go. And voila. The robots have clear instructions once again. Not too worried about the light sources. You'll see my battery is draining fast, though. My personal batteries are going to be going down, and then the roboports themselves are going to be losing power just in time for nighttime. That's just how it goes sometimes. Stone brick is nowhere to be seen, so we're just going to have to live with a few of these entities not being fully set up yet. That's okay. Bam. Power is online for some of these. Oh, just the power poles as well are downgraded. Okay. Well, because they take up different amounts of space, I'm just going to go ahead and do a little deconstruction planner here and make it only destroy the old power poles. A blacklist is... Whitelist should mean that it's getting rid of them, right? Yeah. In the context of a deconstruction planner, at least. But yeah, so now we need to just redo things. Sometimes I have done things where I like do like underground belts plus the substations. I don't hate that design, and it actually does cover a lot of ground, so. And there we go. Just 2 power sources covers everything. That's so great. And we can even get rid of these medium electrics that we don't need. And that, no way, next time we copy this, it'll all work out. Cool. Obviously, the outer ring is going to need a little bit of help, so... But so far, so good. Yeah, even the bots have a slightly greater placement range than your character does, so... Oh, we just aren't, like, connected to that. Okay. Great. And by that, I mean awful. What the heck? Come on. This should not be as hard as it is. Once we get the big factory online, we won't really have to worry about that stuff as much, but right now, it's all fine. We'll do an underground belt right about here. Same thing we have right here. All right, we have copper plates flowing. This will be like our long-term metro-based smelting station, but it will be a good one to utilize for now. And I'm just slightly off today on these power poles. Eventually, they get kind of obsolete, but I still see some people use them in builds just because they don't take up that much space compared to the substations. All right, we're already seeing the power issues come into play. Let's see what we could get out of these power poles, these solar panels, these accumulators. How much progress we make in there? Alrighty, we got 34 solar panels, 90 accumulators, And we have a lot of copper plates we can utilize for more solar panels if we can just bring it over here either by hand or something else. Logistics bots could be useful here, but for the moment, let's go ahead and just get it pulled and get it rolling somewhere else. That's, yeah, plenty. Just more solar panels whenever we can. It's going to be a good thing. There we go. All right, that'll work for now. Anywho, we have the solar panels. We're making some more right now. And now we'll take those. How are we doing on these things? 25. Is that enough to get the robot legs? That would be under combat, as many equipments are. Exoskeleton, we do have enough for the exoskeleton. And then power armor, we need a bit more. So we're going to need some green chips. That should be relatively easy to obtain as we have many more flowing than we did before. Don't believe we're boxing it anywhere nearby, though. My only green chip box is like back at the very earliest part of the base. And why is this lacking coal? That would explain why we are already offline. I didn't think we expanded things that much power cost wise, but we just don't have enough coal flowing right now. Interesting. Okay. Well, it's not for lack of miners. These guys are idle. We just need to increase the belt. So we'll go ahead and run that here. I think at this point in time would be the best opportunity. The fact that it's a half belt is kind of awkward because we have it working here as a half belt, and that's cool, whatever, but I would much rather we have it as a whole belt for literally everything else. It makes sense for the smelters, but we can fix that on that side of things, so we can have a full belt running here. Okay. So I don't necessarily even have to do the full upgrade of red if I'm just fixing this little bit right here. So we have double-sided. We do have to make sure that these guys get cleaned up in terms of which side they're going to be on. And so like this would be fine, right? Yeah. Cool. And then over here, well, we can keep the coal flowing. And then we can say over here, this one could just be met with one going this direction, and it'll stay on the correct side as well. Okay, cool. So we just didn't want to mess up any of our active operations with the coal side. This one I think is already covered, and then yeah, the rest will flow here. Seems reasonable to still want to belt this at a higher rate. And it shouldn't take too long, so we'll go ahead and take care of it. Here. Here. Everything in the green square my bots can access, so that'll be nice. I do believe I need some stone bricks for a few things, so we'll grab that. At the very least, we need it for the military science, but we might need to route it all the way. The issue is, of course, that we don't actually have a real stone node. This one has 11,000 left, so we have to go and run rail lines to make that happen. So that's why I was thinking we have a lot to do today. There's just a lot of little things to kind of catch up on to really start scaling higher. So we'll go ahead and go here. The bots are certainly going to help in that process, though. It's just going to be easier to place things, do the manual labor while I'm trying to kind of plan out how and where and etc. Now, it's important to, of course, not miss a single one of the line here, because if you even leave a single belt to be yellow when it should be red, then suddenly the entire line's at half throughput. All right, let these guys charge up real quick. And off we go. All right, so this will make sure that they have what they need. Oh, there's that exact thing I was talking about. And then here, technically the very end of it might not need it, but we're actually shipping coal pretty high up there, so let's go ahead and just adjust that there too. All right, that'll help. While I'm here, I'll grab those green. Let's see, I do need belts. Wow, glad I've been making them for a while, because that can get out of hand pretty quickly if you start just building up the wrong supply of things. And then the green science, or green circuits that I was talking about before, I'll make sure I have plenty of those. That'll help me get those blue processing units done. I can even go ahead, I have a drop box for yellow right here. And those can be converted into some better materials. So this is all good. Still a little slow on this side of things. It's just because the inserters don't really have a lot going on. But surely we can sort this through, guys. I think it's just the coal quantity, and of course the mining drills are also electric, so they're affected by that reduced process. So it kind of definitely becomes a chain reaction. All right, let's go ahead and throw some coal into these guys and then get our solar panels online. These guys don't seem to be working as hard. Are they not outputting at all? And is there... Okay, I believe it's all in the same grid, yeah. Why are they not moving? Do they not have water? No water. What happened to the water? It was never connected? My goodness. Little things, guys. The little things that end up becoming a big deal. I'm curious if somebody will have commented on that small hiccup by the time we get to this point, but yeah, an entire vertical stack not being utilized. These guys, and of course they wouldn't have been utilized anyways because they wouldn't have had the coal, right? But yeah, that's where we're at right now. So hopefully that will clean things up. Now we do want to start building out these solar panel lines out here in the middle of nowhere. And so I guess we want to start with some substations. Say here. The nice thing is these grids are the exact distance of the wire, how far the wire can reach. So you can tell pretty clearly if it's in range, if it's covering the whole area or not. So yeah, we're going to want to go ahead and start with, let's see here. There we go. I'm going to basically just fill the full range of these three, because these are 3x3 buildings, so it just kind of works. The math works out the best if you have, I think, 3 full substations worth. I like how it even lights up the ghosts when you are utilizing. It's like, okay, I'm making a delivery, I got you. We'll probably leave that, since it's a single row, we'll probably leave that for accumulators. And go from there with more solar panels if we have it. I think that's all of our solar panels at this point for the time being. The rest will get filled out when we can. 36 entities mapped. but not available just yet. So I guess I can go ahead and... That's weird. You can't just cancel it like that. Okay. Well, I guess you can still do the deconstruction method, right? I'm just making sure these are all fake, but yeah, there's still a decent difference between the holograms visually, so there you go. All right, well, hopefully we will be in a positive power state where the accumulators can start building up, but at the moment we are, yeah, having some fuel issues. Trying to think of our best way out of it. I know that I did pile up some coal in a box, and that might just be our way out. So let's see, I got some here for sure. And then I usually leave a backup like this. So what I like to do is just kind of turn this around, this inserter, so he starts doing his job. In this case, he can bulk insert onto the line and then do that. Well, we'll get there. A few steps at a time. There's some more coal if I need it. Yeah, I think I can always work around it by doing something like this and this. Do something like this and this, and that all that will allow me to then set up another proxy distributor with plenty of coal. And the rest can be fed into these guys here, who will be much happier for it. All right, now we're cooking. All the steam engines are online, and we're satisfied on our production, which means we'll be mining that much more over here. So that's good. Probably need to reroute some more of this to the south. Clearly, these 5 aren't doing much at all, and it'll be nice. But, you know, we're here with the solution for right now, and solar panels will help as time goes by. 42 minutes in. Really only end up making like a handful of assembling machines right now, which is a little sad, but there's just a lot of little pieces that bring it all together. All right, that's much better. The copper plate is still kind of a limitation until we reroute that. Do we want to do that now here, or do we want to do it further down the line? I think it makes sense just to add copper plate stuff here. Let's go ahead and check what else we're going to be building today. We do need copper plate for just about everything here. We need it for... Well, we just need it in the chips, so we could... There's a few ways to do this. At the end of the day, we do need a lot of chips per robo bay. We do need some for each black science. We do not need any for concrete, but concrete's also not my highest priority right now. That was kind of like a bonus pickup if I can, just for something that I can kind of tell the base to constantly be building. Alrighty. Well, let's make sure we... I can't do that soon because I'm going to have logistics set up with the bots, and yeah, they're not going to be... there have been plenty of times where I've used the trash slots for inventory, and I'm having to run away from my own bots to tell them not to do it, because I guess you could uncheck this now, which is fine, but... Oh no, it says, yeah, logistic robots will continue to empty trash slots, so... It is what it is. That's okay. Maybe we'll bring one last set here. And can make a little bit more furnace action too. That should help it for a long time. These guys are still going to be limited on batteries because these guys are limited on copper plates as well. So we can go ahead and pull that back and make sure these guys are doing what they need to do. None of these are really permanent solutions, but we're just trying to keep things rolling until we can really do a big expanded space. And then we won't really worry about what's left behind so much. All right, tech, we're just about caught up on everything that we can research. You know, we're not getting into production or utility science packs just yet. I think we're going to prioritize space stuff over that. So there's not too much that we really need. Obviously, black techs will be coming pretty soon, and those will be great. But yeah, these are kind of relatively minor things on the table. Is there anything else I'm missing here? Obviously, the techs themselves. And of course, our rocket stuff. We need to build a space platform starter pack in order for our ability to launch into space to be unlocked. That'll be fun. All right, well, we have been at it for about 45 minutes here. I encourage everybody at this point in time, just like always, to take a little break, walk around, grab a drink, check your posture, 20, look across the room for 20 seconds, 20 feet away, and we'll be back in just a moment. All right, at least my moment is up, and now it is time to get back to it. We have been creating a lot of the solar panels, and we've been able to expand on that quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and drop off some electronic circuits as well, as we are just going to want to try to keep those crunching out. And yeah, batteries are flowing pretty good, so that's all great. We are going to be wanting to expand our Robo Bay network pretty soon, but we need to make sure we have all the resources in place for all that. As far as blue chips, we haven't gotten any more recently. Maybe that's why I've had all those green chips, not necessarily just for the solar panels, though those are important too, of course. I do definitely want to make sure that we're getting a lot of blue, because then we can get our power armor up. 40 for that. At least one set of legs. I'm not sure how many, if we're going to have maybe 2 at this point, but that's going to be 10 processing units each. So yeah, we're shooting for about 60 processing units, and that it requires 1,200 total green circuits, which is obviously a lot. So yeah, we might have to do another shipment, but for the moment, we're moving things along. We're making good progress on our buildings, and we'll do another drop off of our accumulator. Actually, see, the thing is, I don't actually think our grid needs that much help right now, because we fixed the biggest problem, which was all of our stuff was offline. So yeah, I don't necessarily need to run around and just plant solar panels. I think the biggest thing I want to get into next is the robo base, because we can get even just 1 robo bay per minute or something, like, it will help a ton in terms of how rapidly you could expand the scale of the factory. So we'll get into that next. And once again, if we wanted to look at this here, we can say that's... Oh, black science is kind of important too. Yeah, I guess we'll do black science real quick, and then we'll do robo-base. That works for me. All right, so if we are trying to do black science right now, if we look at our factory planner, right now we have 60 per minute for a variety of things. I don't actually feel like I need 60 per minute of military science. It's more of a conditional thing that isn't... We're just not, like, using it for every single tech, right? And we can get a bit of a buffer going and be fine with that. So I could see us, like, cutting this in half in theory and just going based off of that. It's just going to be 4 machines building it out, but is what it is. So yeah, if we look at just the breakdown here, whether you're looking at it in the factory planner or on the side here, the build map, simply put, the iron is going into steel and into the magazines, and then the copper as well as the steel goes into the improved magazine, the piercing rounds. That's one third of it. The next piece is regular iron plates and coal goes into grenades. And then the last piece is that stone and stone brick goes into walls. And that's where our biggest problem lies, is we don't have any stone. So not really worried about the rates. We're worried about the resources. We're going to have to make a trek up top. So we'll go ahead and hop in this car here, and we're going to be going and trying to redefine how our rail system is going to be working. I think I do need some circuits to make sure that I can build these signals and train stops. I think we're okay though. Seems like we can still craft all of that with the copper that we have on hand. So let's go ahead and make a little bit of this action happen. And then it looks like even some iron and steel could be useful for making the trains themselves. So let's go ahead and make sure that we're caught up on those resources in order to not have to run back anytime soon. We're going off the grid for a little bit. There's the steel, there's the iron. Grab some chips. We're doing good. All right, that'll be plenty for what we need. And then, of course, we need one of the most important things is we're going to need rails. So let's go ahead and hop in the car, head over to our rail assembler, grab those, and then we're good to go. Right through the middle of everything here. Looks like we have some space. We'll get there when we get there. Sorry about that. Cannot replace it, but we can upgrade it. We can make it, build it, make it stronger, better, and faster. Except those data points don't apply to the power poles whatsoever. Alrighty, so rails were being made up here. Grab plenty of those. There was something that I used to do that, yeah, I used to like frame the window this way, and you can just kind of pile it in the trunk, which is always nice. And that'll do it. That's all the rails we can. Hopefully our car doesn't explode anytime soon. Let's go ahead and head up. We could also go into here. There's no trunk for that though, and yeah, we just want to redesign things. So I want to talk about our broader train network. Right now it's in an okay position, but I have been playing around with some build options, and I want to expand on this quite a bit. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing some roundabouts. Basically, I wanted to be consistent of where I place them based on the chunks. And what I'm going to be doing is I looked at the map for probably too long to figure out like where my placement would be, and I decided it's going to be a little bit too close to everything going on here if I place it on this line here, but I'm going to place it on a intersection of chunks, these like 4 chunks here, on this column right here. I think is going to be the best option. So that's where we're going to be starting with everything here, and we're going to be doing it with a circle. So I'm not sure if this is new based off of the 2.0 in changing the arc of the stuff, but basically you can make what feels like basically a perfect circle now. I'm definitely was not practiced enough with trains to say I know for sure that you could or couldn't do this before, but they did mention something about the turn radius of tracks being slightly adjusted. Anyways, you can do this, and then when I get rid of this, bam, there's your circle. So this is going to be effectively a roundabout. We're going to be having all of our train lines coming in about here. We're going to give 4 spaces in between as far as transport belts go. That's just going to be better for a lot of signaling stuff. And then we're going to want it, obviously, to be able to intersect with this. So we'll see how close it can get and still properly work. I don't think that will work, but I do think that will. And if we do the same thing here and do it this way, then you're halfway done already. We're going to copy paste the blueprint down here. It's going to be all symmetrical. It's going to be beautiful. And we've got that set up. Do we want to do signaling right now for it? I'm definitely going to have to do it at some point in the future. So I might as well do it now. Let's go ahead and craft some signals. So where are we going to start? Do we have these even on a bar somewhere? I'm definitely going to need to like create a specific rail bar pretty soon. So I guess I'll just do it now, which will have, of course, tracks is number 1. I would say, yeah, rail signal, chain signal. I guess chain technically comes first in mini context. So we'll go do that. And then Yeah, why not throw on some of these as well? Since we want to set up some train stations, we can go ahead and add this setup here. Ooh, I don't have that many steel chests. That might come into play later, but we'll figure it out. All right, so we are going to be needing... Is there anything else we're going to need? We're definitely going to need also electricity to be routed up here for these signals to... Actually, this is a dumb question, dude. Signals don't require electricity. That would be a real pain in the neck, wouldn't it? We do generally want electricity to go into our rail areas, but not here. So anyways, I'm going to use a new feature in the game. It's 2.0 added this nice little feature where you can just, you know, just decide where you want your rails to go. It's really beautiful. It's really nice. And we're just going to mark it to here. And you can see my bots are already going to town on that. It's awesome. You can mark it to about here too. Doesn't have to be perfect. And we'll make things happen there. And go ahead, send some more out, and then, yeah, go back to here for the signaling. So it's going to be, you know, generally speaking, you look at like chain in, rail out, like you enter an intersection. Yes, we're doing right-handed rails. If you haven't figured that out already, this is going to be closest to the intersection you can get. And then I believe you'll want another chain signal here. And then you'll want the... You can do that at each one of these points. And here, you'll also want one at this entryway. I guess we can just copy paste once we get one properly set up. So we'll do that. So this is an exit point, but then we'll want to make sure there's enough space for a train with 3 cars to exit right here. And then put another rail signal down just to make sure. And we could also do things the other direction and say like, okay, well, if they're coming in, we want to make sure that a train can stop before it. So we'll do that as well. So that's going to be more clear if I do it through this method. And then, yeah, say down about here. I can get rid of the chunk grid at this point. That probably isn't going to help us the most. Let's see if this is going to work. Still has space. Perfect. So we have that. And I'm pretty happy to see that all working. I'm trying to think of what the next piece is, but let's just copy this for now and see what I'm missing after that. Okay, so I have this. If we rotate it, that should all be good. That should all be good. That should all be good. Adding in all these pieces here. And then, is there anything else? Are we got a pretty good roundabout? Obviously, they're not going to be able to go that direction for a while. It's kind of just future-proofing. I don't think that there's anything that would be attacked here by the biters, but maybe I want to also be aware of that potential threat and just make one guy stand vigil here. Target priorities. That's still crazy to me. All right. We are kind of close to the whole biter populace here. And they might just eat the first thing they see. Who knows? Yeah, big problem with large-scale bot usage is you got to give them time to recharge. The further they travel, the more energy it's going to take them. So you want to kind of stay near where they're operating. And because we just don't have that much built-in power generation right now, we're going to use a lot of it if we aren't careful how we manage it. But they'll do their job, and they'll make this process a whole lot easier than it was before, which is great. I guess I can get rid of these trees and stuff too. That is not the one I want. We can use it. Trees and rocks only. Clear all that out. And they even auto repair the car, which is great. So yeah, we're all on the grid here. It's going to be pretty consistently a positive thing. And then yeah, these little like quad grids don't have visual on exactly where that's at. And I don't imagine... I have a radar out here, but it's not in the right position. So what I'm thinking is, as well, I want to probably put the big electric poles in between here. And that way I can basically just always consistently have... Come on, little guys. If I leave you behind, you're going to get real slow, real fast. There we go. Cool. So yeah, I want to basically have big electric poles set up here consistently. And that way I just have power to wherever I'm going, whether it's a mining operation or, you know, even loading and unloading needs electricity, right? So we can go ahead and just run that over to here, where we can also have that radar set up. I guess just one right smack dab in the middle, why not? That might not be centered, might be, who knows? And the radar can do its thing. Cool. Or not. Go ahead and take care of this before it drives me crazy. And we're getting there. Yeah. Rome wasn't built in a day. There's going to be a lot of little pieces all coming together to make it all work, but just that I have kind of a game plan going into it of how things are going to be organized is a big step in the right direction for me personally, because a lot of times I'm just winging it, and that's not always going to work. So we're going to go ahead and, yeah, measure the chunks now just to see. Okay, so this is like what I would call a quad chunk, like it's the interconnection, interseed, whatever, of indice, that's what I'm looking for, of those four. So we have another one here. So that's 1, 2, 3. And the fourth one would be here. And that's where I want to build my next one, I believe. And we'll just have to adjust our iron bit a little bit, which is fine. So what we get to do now is probably close out this a bit, drive a bit closer to let the bots do their work, and then we get to copy all this point for point. Keep it symmetrical. I just need to blueprint this is what I need to do. So my first blueprint of the playthrough here. How do I get it in my inventory while I'm on the map? I don't know if I can, but we're here. Now we can go to it. We could say, we're gonna capture that, we're gonna capture that. I could always edit it to remove those pieces if I get the wrong one, right? Let's start right here though, and I think we're good. Perfect. And this can go, and this can go, and let's say this can go as well. But the signals should all be right as far as I could tell right now. So we'll name it roundabout. And that's fine for right now. So I'm happy with that. We can reuse it right over here. I believe that was the mark, right? Yeah, it was past the trees. No, I think it was here. I'm gonna be sad if I get it wrong, but I believe it was here. And now we can go ahead and connect the dots. I'm cool with it. Let's see here. That's one. I guess you can see how many you can fit into... How many of that blueprint can you fit? Okay, this is my rail line. Definitely want my rail blueprint on my rail line. If I open my blueprint book, now I can put it onto here. Put it onto here. This can be moved. And then, yeah, what do we have here? So this would be the next one. And sort of try to think like, okay, if this was here, that's like your second one. Here. And then 2 over here. 2 over here, and perfect. Yep, okay. Just making sure we're on like evens and not odds, you know? And now I can basically use this as a blueprint. I can straight up copy and paste this This is something Satisfactory has nothing on this part of the game. The fact that you can just go to your map and be like, I've copied my whole factory, recreate, like that's so insane. And I love this game. All right. So we're moving forward. We're basically it's just trying to get to these rocks over here. But we're also trying to incorporate some old designs into our new one. So we'll have to kind of adjust this slightly. We can't be too rigid where we just don't adapt at all. Because we do need to make sure that we are steering clear of resource nodes. But overall, it should be fine. It's just a little bit of this. Okay, so you can... Yeah, if you hold shift, I don't know how to do it where I'm turning clockwise, but I know how to do it while I'm turning counterclockwise, so forgive me if this looks dumb, but we have it horizontal, which is what we want. Now we can find basically the closest point to smooth it out. And it's going down 1, 2, 3... Let's see, 4 seems necessary, so we'll do that. And then, yeah, bam. And then as far as I can tell, we'll just do this. We'll get this to the same straight through point, which is right here. Oh. I believe that's right. Yep. And then same thing. All right. And we can do it right here, right? So this is 1 above, this is 2 above, this is 4 above. Perfect. Okay, so do that. And that will avoid the blockage. Go ahead and make sure we are building those up. Move on ahead since most of the bots are already way ahead of us. And then now that we're past that, we want to do the exact opposite. We can go ahead and copy this, and then we can do V for vertical, and we can flip it. And say we do it right around here. We are getting attacked, but we do have ammunition. Where is that happening right now? It's going to be down at the southern end here. Got 15 shots, got 19 shots, like a little bit of damage taken as we have now polluted this area here. I'm not going to worry about it just immediately, but that is going to be a good excuse for me to stop talking so much and focus more on what I'm doing. And, you know, using your robots, you might get a little bit of nighttime. That's okay. So as far as the next one over, if we were to just kind of look at this in general, it would generally be right here. It's a little bit awkward with the stone patch being just in that exact spot. But what can you do? Yeah. And you could go one more. It's also on the oil. I think I wanted it to be, maybe this one would just be 3 instead. And that's fine. So. What I mean here is basically if I have the radar to map it out, let's see, I hit this one here. Then we go 1. Don't want to lose my track. 2, and then 3, and just build it right here instead. And everything's still fine and dandy. And it doesn't go right under the node where it otherwise would, because yeah, 1, 2 would just be in the wrong spot. Okay. And once again, we take off the grid, we connect the dots. If you don't know how to activate that grid, it's by default F5, but it is very nice to kind of get a better understanding, like basically just break things down to 64 by 64 blocks, which is cool. Got some biters nearby. We'll have to worry about those as well. Well, we're doing all right now. Gonna go ahead and put some materials away. And now we can basically have a railway right here, which the awkward part, of course, is that the rail won't be able to loop because there's cliffs in the way. But I think if and also that we don't have rails. Just kidding. We have a whole trunk full of rails. Let's go ahead and ditch some of this material and continue to build. So what I think I'll do is I will build up and over, up to about here. Yeah, those cliffs are getting kind of close. So what we can do is just get vertical. So like we basically, yeah, just want to find a spot where it is able to do that. Yeah, this is the only part that I feel like I'm missing something with rail placement, but it looks awkward, but it's fully functional. Sometimes you just gotta go for function over form. Yeah, let's say it's here. And then match back up here, right? Alrighty. Once more, we will have a turret here on the perimeter, since we have biters relatively close by. And they'll do their best to defend the operation, as we, again, are probably too limited on steel chests. I'll just use iron for now, but yeah, we're going to be setting up the dig now, and we have the drills to do it. Trying to think vertical or horizontal here. Does look like horizontal fits a little better. We'll see. Probably just about the same. It's not too... Do 1, 2 down. And then, yeah, we could just copy the line here. Cool thing is, if you have just a big... If you have basically all the resources you could possibly need, like, for example, what I just did right there, I tried to place, and what it does is, if there's nothing for it to mine from, it won't bother, it won't place it. It's like an illegal move. You're not allowed to place a mining drill on a non-resource node. So the blueprint will kind of just fill it in. And if you just have like a big grid of electric drills, that you could just slap it down and it'll fill in all the patches that are valid, which is kind of nice. Let's say here. I feel like I do this a lot. And cool. Cool. And I'll just do 2 belts. I don't know really what the throughput of the station is going to end up being, but it's better than leaving it up in the air. Now, I did not route power all the way here. I kind of stopped it at that point, so go ahead, keep this train moving, quite literally. So we continue to build off of that. And then we'll have to adapt a little bit here. And figure it out once we come back over that way. For now, though, we can set up the substation to hopefully work as indicated. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So when we do have power stretch out to here, then that'll be online. Guess it works like this. Nope. Back over to our loading station, which now in hindsight I might want to cut this, because what we're going to be doing is utilizing this. I think this might be too large. Let's see. So if we look at the rail station, it says, yeah, there's too many spaces here. So we can cut this down a little bit, but we can use the general idea. So we'll go ahead and grab these rails and decide where the loading and unloading is going to be. As long as it meshes well with what's going on here, because it starts curving here. So this is where we want to start that. And then, yeah, as far as we put a rail back over here, we want to make it so that this has enough space for 3 flat things. So here we have actually too much. So you see it's the engine and then the 2 cargo. And then from that point, like if I remove it, now it's bad, right? Okay, so we definitely want that spot covered, and then everything else is fine to flip. And we'll just do it right there. So I believe this takes up like a chunk and a half of space. You can see it works pretty well for what we're trying to do. And then, yeah, we'll now set it up to have the cargo split here. And then a few of these boxes for the extra ones. Should be fine. The setup here. And then we'll set it up like this. Technically, there's a few ways that you can do it, split it, but at the end of the day, it's going to get filled at whatever rate the red has to offer, so. Cool. And then, this is the area I do like medium electric poles. Substations can be very finicky in those kinds of environments, so I'm happy with it as is. I guess we can, yeah, kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. Then if we can just car ride, I guess I should drop off my train itself. And then, yeah, get the electricity rolling. And that is a stone loading station. All done as soon as we put it on the electric grid. And for some reason, oh, we have this set up over here. Okay. So I guess technically we didn't need to, well, I'm going to cut this stuff down. So I guess it's good that we have it as our backup soon. Alrighty, and with these last ones getting placed, we slow down enough of the robots to handle it. That'll do it. We should be back. We should be online over there. If we had radar, which we gotta remember to place. It's very important. You need vision. You need to know what you're working with. Do we want radar over here too? I don't know, we'll see. I think we currently have one. It just doesn't stretch this far. We lost vision around here last I checked, so let's go ahead and just make sure we have that covered here. And if you look at the mini-map, you can see exactly what it covers, which is just short of the full node. So we can go ahead and do this. There's all that stone getting loaded on. There's no coal in that train, but once we fix that, we are in business. Again, some defenses on the perimeter. Laser turret is just so much more friendly to place, but this will work. Yeah, probably like something more central, like over here. As long as they're in coverage range of each other, that's what's important. Alrighty. Go ahead and fuel this thing up. I know we have it. Yeah, it'll spin around here, it'll go there, and then it has nowhere to go from there. So we have to set up its final connection. 1 hour and 20 minutes. Got to keep it rolling, got to keep moving. Yeah, so all these are working. There's no bottlenecks right now. We're basically mining from the full patch, minus, you know, we could technically double up on these rows, but I don't want to, because at the end of the day, we're going to mine through that whole thing in due time. So, all set up there. Now we just got to redo some rail stuff. I think the next item could be very well... Curious what's got my tech stopped right now. So this is probably a blue tech thing, maybe a green. Blue tech is the one we're lacking. And it's because we are not getting as much in the chip department, it seems like. Contents, crafting speed. Yeah, it's got everything but the red chips. And the red chips are flowing. Let's go ahead and make sure this is all covered here. That is... Okay, so that's a bot command to remove that from the chest. Interesting. And there's the... There he is. Wait, is that a construction bot? I thought the logistic bots were the only ones that could do that. Okay, I don't actually know what the two different bots do now. What's a logistic bot do? Transports items between logistic chests. Automatically build and repair friendly entities. But when you give it a remove from the chest command... I guess it's kind of like a mini deconstruction command. It's like if I told it to destroy the chest, that's not logistics, that's construction. Okay. That's basically what I did. Alrighty. Anywho. What we're going to want to do is probably route the iron onto this spot here. So what we can do is do the exact same thing we just set up here. Not sold on the conveyor belts just yet, but close enough. We can always edit the blueprint if we want to blueprint it. I don't know if I can do that while I'm holding it. Let's clear out this area of the trees. I get it, I get it. A lot of batteries in our backpack too. Alrighty, so yeah, that looks clean, that looks disjointed. So let's go ahead and say here. The only thing is I wanted to leave some space for the signals. Yeah, the rail signals. So let's go ahead and break through here. If we have a chain here, we want to then have a rail signal here. Why can't I hit Q on this? That's annoying. Okay, so we see this here. Yeah, still has space for everything. Maybe I can move it one up. Doesn't really matter that much, but I am trying to utilize the space the best I can. Yeah, this is good. All right, so this is where we will set up our next little bit here. I don't know how those signals get affected. Because in theory, I should be doing it like half a chunk away, like this. Yeah, 1.5 chunks. We can do here and just run the belts. And that if I'm consistent about that, I'll have, and I made it so that I have enough space for 3 of these, I believe. So yeah, you have the 3. Because if it each takes 1.5 chunks, then you have 4.5 chunks to work with, and I have, I guess, 6 in between here. So you should be able to fit 4, but that might not be counting the rail signal stuff that I was talking about. So we'll see how it goes. For right now, once again, we can... Well, actually, I can collect these steel chests so I can use them. So we'll do that. So our next move is to deconstruct a lot of this. Can I tell the train to leave? That's probably a good idea. Get out of here. Go to smelting. And don't come back. It will be a bit annoying that these chests might be kind of full, but it looks like we're actually using it quite a bit at our home base, so that's great. So that means we can continue to do this stuff. sort this all out. And the whole idea here is then we can kind of leave this vertical line for anything we want to do over here, which is, it isn't really much. But more importantly, I'm just trying to be consistent about how like I set up my stations for the future. Since this was like the first one, it was kind of random. Any tech's worth even looking at right now? I don't think. Ooh, elevator rail will be so cool in the future. Interested to see what people end up doing with that. Haven't seen it a lot, but it in theory it's a very cool idea. But I don't think we have actually the access to just about anything else. Uranium drilling. Oh, okay. I was wondering. I'm like, why do they give you uranium drilling usage, but they don't give you the next big thing? But that's because it's based on the unlock. You just have to get 1 uranium ore, and then you're good. But at the end of the day, I want to get space science packs and get Kovarex enrichment process before I really worry about uranium-based power. That's when it really gets good. Okay. Yeah. Inventory slots may be a factor here. We'll do what we can. Don't think we need all these steam engines right now. Hear that sound effect though. Yeah. Very nice. Alright, how are you doing on this special ore? Oh my gosh, we are just... I'm going to take the quality modules out, guys. I don't really feel like that's going to help right now at this point in the game. I do like the idea, and I want to take advantage of it in the future. It's just... it would take a lot of time for me to get a setup that I'm happy with for that. So if I just do like... if I do copy paste here, I think there's something about something that the robots can do that would copy all this stuff. I really just need to drop another chest down and start unloading into this thing. Heck, even I can put the trains down for a second. All right, cool. And now I think that we are up to speed on just about everything we can make right now, so no big deal. We'll just leave it as is. But yeah, I'm not sold on the idea. So is there a way I can... I definitely believe there's a way you can blueprint things so that it copies the modules as well. Of course, you can also deconstruct and then redo. And that shouldn't take too long. Assuming these... okay, I'm going to help these guys out because this is a nightmare. Taking like 2 pieces at a time right now. They're not very upgraded. Yeah, just taking the quality stuff away because it creates some problems right now. Do we have one more? No, it looks like that's it. And then... I don't think that's necessary. Something more like this, probably. And I think I only had 2 here, so stick with that. Technically, I should have 1 here and 1 here, and then just build 1 more higher. Yeah, train can't find destination because I destroyed its destination. It is no more. I guess we can just put it in these. Bots? Am I fully out of power on bots at this point? Yep, that's sad. They'll get back up and running, but until then I'm on my own. Doing things by hand. The old-fashioned way. Yeah, I shouldn't have exhausted all their power by forcing them to empty iron chests. That's kind of cruel and unusual. But it's how it be sometimes. Okay. That clears up inventory stuff quite a bit. I'll grab my rails again and we'll get to breaking it down. Still have plenty of belts to work with. Alrighty. So, what we want to do instead is go to this point here. Just above the oil. Sometimes I forget the grid is on, and I'm sorry if that bothers people, because it's just, at a certain point, I cross my eyes and it just disappears. But I will try to avoid leaving that on. Generally, I just don't think it's something I need to be using that often, but a few times there's going to be some alignment things that I'm trying to make happen. Cool. So we can go ahead and say right here is this one. Alrighty, and they'll fill it up nice and easy. Now this guy is actually not happy, so resolve that. Go ahead and put a splitter here just to make sure everything's pretty even. I guess it has to be, so never mind. It's already splitted from the get-go. Alrighty, so that'll be the new stop for that train. We just have to connect the line to... I really don't want to... Yeah, I don't have to demolish this right now. I can always come back some other time. Maybe offline, I'll go ahead and have the robots pick these up when they have power. But for right now, I'll just mark them and move on, as they suddenly spring to life. Just in time. Which is, of course, a pretty big concern, because that means they don't have any power when they finish this little task. So we'll go ahead and turn off the roboport, have them all come back at charge. And then let's just start with making sure they do the placement part. I have a car. I probably shouldn't leave that behind, because that'll just make things all the more difficult. Good, good. Okay. Car is at the loop. Oh, and I did not put signals here, so I believe that this should be... Let's see. Make a few more of these. I'm worried that I might have dropped a signal somewhere because I didn't have enough chain, but I think it would tell me that the entities are not happy. I think it might be dependent for robots in range or not. I'm not sure. Either way, we'll work with what we got. And if there's a train wreck, then we'll know we messed up. So we just want a chain into a rail here, I believe. I guess that means that we could have built it closer, huh? Because we definitely have the space now. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll figure it out one day. But this isn't obviously cutting anything right now. So what we're going to do is we're also going to... Guys, chill. You do not have the energy for this. Maybe you do, but let's pretend you don't. So at this point, it's... something like that. And then just after the break there. All right, it's probably going to be running low, yeah, pretty soon, so we're going to need to get back. I just know this will work. I don't think this is the most efficient way to place all these rail components, but I'll just take it for right now and go from there. So if we look at our current block, yeah, there's a magenta, there's a cyan, and it's all broken up. So maybe not optimal. I'll double check it some other time, but bottom line is we got to get this rail line connected, allowing us to bring stone and iron to where we want it to be. And then do we want to just like go straight down with this? If we can, yeah. Stay away from the deconstruction stuff. They can focus on their tasks. At the end of the day, placing straight line rails is not that hard, so I definitely could have just taken care of this one way or another. But yeah, let's go ahead and it's just it's honestly the like the trees and stuff in the way that's kind of the more annoying bit. I do have grenades for that though. You can kind of hear like him pulling the pin. Is that the sound effect they're going for? I like that. It's nighttime, it's nap time for the robots, at least for now. And we'll do some more grenade action. Nice. That's one way to deal with a tree. I think Fern Gully would have ended a lot differently if they had a machine gun on their vehicle. Just saying. Alrighty. And then not to mess things up too much, at least for right now, I'm going to go ahead and just try to keep things connected as best I can, which we'll do right here. And right here. Can't really see with the logos on top of it if it's the perfect alignment or slightly off, but I can always add one piece if I need to. Yeah, the green kind of verifying you're on the right track is nice. And yeah, right there. Cool. Obviously this looks horrendous right now, but yeah, we're bringing stuff back in line with our expectations. Is this bad? Seems bad. There we go. Alrighty, and we will definitely fix this rail line later, but right now this is just defunct and we don't need to worry about it at all. It's just taken care of. These are all blue. This one doesn't even have a thing. A little awkward. And then yeah, this whole setup was supposed to have like, you know, rail signals to block it off. Luckily, nobody else is going that way for a while, so no concerns at the present moment. Alrighty. See where we're at. Thread the needle. Beautiful. Leaf on the wind. All right, 1 hour and 40 minutes. We have a couple other tasks to get to before we wrap this up, but we are getting close to the end here, folks. Hope you're having a good night. Hope you're enjoying the playthrough. I know some parts are going to be a little slower than others. That's what, the chapters at the bottom are for. If you want to just jump ahead to the next thing, feel free. I'm not offended at all. I totally get it. But at the same time, if it's just something to have in the background while you're playing your own operation, that's cool too. But yeah, what I would say is that if you would be so kind, you can always check down below the video if you have been subscribed to the channel yet. It's always nice to have new folks come by and comment and share what they think about the thing so far, or honestly just hanging out and sharing your builds, talking about this game that we all really, really enjoy. Am I destroying the quality on the copper? Technically, this one hasn't filled and won't for a while. I guess we'll leave it here. Might be able to do something with it. But yeah, no, if you have subscribed, awesome. It's nice to be able to see some repeat visitors every once in a while. And then, of course, always have the option to like the video or comment as well. That helps more people see it. And yeah, we want the factory to grow, whether it's in the broader sense of just the community as a whole. This community is awesome. Everybody I've talked to is so super cool, and it's just great to meet even more people, as well as, of course, support the channel. So, yeah. Let's see here. Are we gonna fight biters? No, we're just gonna make sure our defenses can handle them. We're gonna focus on these last few items. All right, so we're back on solid ground here. We have a manufacturer here for the magazines. Go ahead and take care of that. We have the rails, which I'm going to drop off so that I don't just sit with a full inventory of them. And then, yeah, let's go ahead and make a couple more items before we call it a night. Good on power for the moment. I really want the robo bays more than anything, but yeah, I do think that the black science, just getting a little bit of black science is going to be great progress as well. So where are we on that? Do we actually have a functional stone setup? This guy is just waiting for commands, right? So we have a train station for him. It's not signaled, but isn't going to be blocked by anything. So if we just go ahead and put down the train stop, we'll have made that entire effort worthwhile. Trying to think. So I need stone bricks to be on this eastern side. We can just bring it from the south, or we could extend the train line down here and make it a drop-off point. Either way, what we need to do is make sure that it gets near water, because when we start building concrete, we're going to need water, iron ore, and stone bricks all in the same area. And that is going to be obviously either here. Yeah, we can pipe it from this area. I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, let's go with that for right now. Let's see where it goes. Just a bunch of stone sitting here. That's cool. I guess I can just turn that into landfill real quick. Shouldn't take too long. Very condensed. It's 50 stone per landfill, and so it processes through that real quick. And, we can load up on a few things. But the main thing I was going for was a train stop and basically making a smelting station here. We already have one smelting station for stone, so I was going to go ahead and make one for stone brick. Is the ratio the same, do you guys think? Before it was like one, the 1-to-1, 48 smelters will cover a red belt because they are double speed crafting speed compared to the stone furnaces. However, if we look at the, you know what? I clicked every single tab before I remembered. Oh yeah, it's technically a tile. So stone brick is 3.2 crafting time per 2 stone, compared to iron plates 3.2 crafting for 1 plate. right? So technically it's twice as fast and therefore requires half as many furnaces, which is great to know because we have a perfect setup for that. So first we need to, yeah, as long as we put one signal there, it should be fine. Yeah, I'm just worried about things getting a little janky right here, but frankly, as long as I do something like this, this, then this, and this should be good. So what I want to do, man, I really want to just destroy this whole, knock this whole thing down, but I feel like I've done enough of that recently. So we're just going to do this for right now and recognize that there's just not going to be a risk of collision. Are we just going to continue to be back in the car? Where's the car? I drove it over there and then I turned back around, right? Yeah, okay. That's fine. And what we're going to do is we're going to continue this real quick. All the way down. And that is going to be on that perfect spot on the chunks. And then, because the stone is all defunct as well, we can basically start right over here, turning it a little bit further. We'll just go on that one right here, yeah. So if I can just place this here, then I can remember to turn off the grid before it drives people crazy. Okay, so we're this is the line we're trying to, actually no, this is the top line. We want the bottom line, which is here. Right. And yeah, I know I should probably get some blueprints for just like the basic turns and stuff like that sorted out. Maybe I will blueprint off of this right here, but at least for the moment, that is what we're working with. Okay, so I actually want to do this setup here. Okay, so let's do that. This is going to be the spot. Basically held off as long as we could because there's no reason to be like horizontally intersecting our base here. But now we're at this point. Yeah. Okay, this is where it will be. And we can get rid of all that stuff right now. There we go. And probably need to make some more rail signals if we can. Looks like we're out of materials. That's fine. Next time we come by, we'll fill in all the blinks we need to. Not doing the best on power, but these guys are almost done. Right now, we're just putting this on here. And since we have the rail signals up, it should be fine. I swear there's got to be a better way to do this. But, yeah, we have it right here. And that should be drivable. Looks clean to me. Alrighty. I guess there is a small chance of collision at this exact spot, but probability-wise, there are some biters attacking. Good job, Mr. Gun Turret. Wish you could name your turrets. That would be nice. You can give them like a medal of commendation. Give them a nickname. Alright, that'll allow things to keep flowing this way. But is that what we want? I kind of wanted to smelt down. So I think I'll make a smelting setup right here. And then they can then carry it to the right. That makes sense to me, because then we don't need coal, though. It's going to be more efficient if it travels less distance in its stone form compared to its brick form, which is more compact. So we'll smelt it. Then I do not still have it, but I can get it pretty easily. Get the recipe for the train stop here. And yeah, I'll blueprint some of these and save them so we can use them later as well. We'll have to reverse the inserters as it's unloading, not a loading, but should be fine. And yeah, I'm thinking it's fine right here, but let's say it wasn't. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think it's not actually. So you kind of have to do the half. Okay. We'll figure it out. All right, and we still didn't grab the steel. So the steel chests. So we're occupying some space here, but all right, these guys will not be working. Wait, I can just do this, right? So much easier. Oh, I can make steel chests. Perfect. Get rid of this iron stuff. Alrighty. And then all I have to do is make this so this can turn around, at least for now, because we're not going to be able to expand much further than we already have. So we'll just do this. Am I slightly off? Okay. Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. This will all get deleted later. Just exist for the moment. And that's okay. No turrets left. So this could be in danger of an attack. Seems like they're more attracted to whatever's going on over here, but I could see them deviating. And that's where the fun begins. Alrighty. Yeah, and I believe I can just do something like this. Let's see here. I can basically just hold down here. As long as I don't let go, I can just do this, right? So that's kind of nice. It's just laying that out. And then it connects to the grid. Well, isn't that already connected though? It is through this weird side thing that I might want to destroy later. So I guess it's fine as is. Cool. Alrighty. Alright, so now that I have that set up, I actually don't think I need this weirdness right here. Yeah. That cleans that up at least. And then I might adapt that bit later, but for right now it's fine. Cool. Back in business. Alrighty. So now we get to drop a smelting station. I need to make electric furnaces. And I believe I need advanced circuits to really make that work. Come on, guys. Hop in. Steel plates is what's telling me I'm missing. I saw 100 red circuits. That's going to be fine. That makes 20 more. You can just hold down the mouse button? Oh, I like that. Little new things you learn every day. Some stone bricks over here. And then we're at our circuit cap. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, so the idea here is I want smelting operations down in this general area. And so we can have like all iron, steel, copper, and stone being handled there. Unless there's something that needs raw stone. Oh, it even tells you like certain planets have it. So stone isn't on Vulcanus, which I thought might be like, I thought it would be, but here we are. Just stone Luigi, and Vulcanus didn't make it. Rails is really the only, rails and landfill are really the only thing that you just need it for. Foundation needs some stuff that I've never heard of. I thought this was space foundation that I would be needing very soon, but I guess that's not the case. Because there's no way I can get half of this stuff. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm looking at there. So yeah, none of this matters. Stone only goes into rails and bricks and landfill. And if I need that, I can make it here. So this will be a furnace line. We'll do like this, and then like that. Lacking symmetry. Shame. That's what happens when you get odd numbers involved. Alrighty, so we just need half as many furnaces. It's going to be this amount in the middle here, I believe. We'll just grab that. Well, in theory, we're gonna have a lot more stone traveling in this area, so we want to like make sure it's plenty of space. Just do it over here, and we can make rows upon rows of this if we need to. I still have that one. Yeah, get rid of this stuff here. And then upgrade these guys, right? Alrighty. These are fast inserters. It means my bots are just out of energy, which is fine. And here we are. This is the output, which means we'll want to do this here for the input. Is that a rock? Big rock in the way. And then, yeah, I think we can even filter a small part of this out for the rails, which won't coincide well. I think we're good on rails for right now. We've got enough to suit us for the remainder of the time we're on this planet, and we can expand on that in the future. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. Landfill, on the other hand, we might need some of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double split off. It looks weird, but I only want to take a quarter of the stone, not half. Or you could do an output priority as well, and you can just make sure... And that's usually what I do, right? It's like all overflow can go to the thing. But I'm kind of worried about this setup, right? Because in the context of the setup, it's like... Yeah, there's a lot of inserters and multiple belts passing into this space that I actually think it might by default have an overflow, which would be concerning. So I think I'll just do this setup, which generally speaking should make it so that 3/4 of the stone will always go that way. And that's already cut in half. So it's really just like 1/8 of the stone is allocated towards landfill. And as we remember, it does not take many assemblers to make that happen because it is a very fast and efficient process. We are lacking a bit on the inserters, so I'm going to go ahead and steal a few. And my bots are going to steal it right back, so lovely. I think this actually might have ended up being a green. We'll find out soon enough. Landfill is up and running, and a box to go with it. Alrighty. Then these guys are going to be blue very soon. Make sure everything has power, which again we can do through this substation right here. And one right here. Cool. I guess we'll be back here shortly with the blues, so we don't necessarily need to take those out by hand. All right, important thing is a train stop. We're going to name this one Stone Smelting. This one is called Stone Depot or Stone Mining. And then this guy is going to be going from Stone Mining 1, where he is either going to wait until he has full cargo or time past 2 minutes. And then he's going to go to Stone Smelting until he's empty. Cool. And automatic. So that should be delivering. It should all turn into the ore, the issue only being these inserters. And unfortunately, I think that's going to have to be it for today. We'll go ahead and wrap things up by getting the inserters here, but basically this will be our smelting operations for stone and for others, and then we're going to make it so that we can maybe load it up onto a similar track right here, and then send those, you know, maybe it's like here or something, right? And then we send that on the line as the stone brick all the way down. And that's, you know, generally going to be the workflow for a lot of this. It's like yes, this does seem kind of insane to be saying, okay, I'm going to grab this, make it go all the way over here, smelt it here, then send it all the way over here. But as things scale up, as we get a larger access to everything, it's going to make more sense over time. So we'll just work on it as is for right now. And yeah, we're going to have a lot more material flowing through this general area, like this district, in the future. And so we're just going to kind of prepping for that. Right now the brick goes nowhere, and that's fine. I think we'll probably leave plenty of extra room to at least double this as needed. You know, I don't know how fast green belts are going to be, but let's say that much. Great. And then a few extra belts and everything else can go. Cool. And like I said, we want a loading station, not an unloading station. So we're going to copy this one once again and go from there. Here, and it should end at this moment here. That all looks good to me. All right, once again, we do not have all the materials for it, but we're not in a bad spot. And we'll need electricity here. That'll be nice when we get that up and running. And then perfect. What do you complain about? Well, there's no rail that you're connected to. Well, that would be worth a complaint, wouldn't it? Better. Master of the 2 rail setup. Alrighty. And we'll make another train for that as well. We just need some electronic circuits. Grab here some electronic circuits, some inserters. Head back down. I think at that point we'll be in a good position to just call it a night. It's been a long one. Not able to get all the different pieces put together, but the resources are in place to have a very productive tomorrow. And, you know, at the very least, that's setting us up for some success. We'll be able to then start scaling much more with more circuits, more automated robo bays. It's going to be really big because then we can just like daisy chain it. They can automatically place a bunch of stuff here. It's just like, and then we can continue on from that point. So I'm excited about it. It's going to be great. I'm going to go ahead and restock, fill in the blanks down here, and we'll meet you guys in the next episode. Till then, thanks once again for tuning in, and see you on the next one. Space awaits.